First British production variant to incorporate two-piece cylinder blocks designed by Rolls-Royce for the Packard Merlin. Reduction gear ratio. 42:1, with gears for pressurization pump. First production Merlin 61, the 2nd of March, 1942. 1 Merlin 63 and 63 1710 HP, 1280 kilowatts, at 3000 RPM at 8500 feet, 2591 m, 1505 HP, 1122 kilowatts, at 3000 RPM at 21,000 feet, 6401 m. Strength and 2-speed 2-stage development of Merlin 61, plus 18 side boost, reduction gear ratio. 4771, Merlin 63 did not have extra gears for pressurization and incorporated a strengthened supercharger drive quill shaft. Used in Spitfire FMK.8 and FMK9. 1 Merlin 66, RM10SM. 1720 HP, 1280 kilowatts, at 5790 feet, 1765 m, using plus 18 psi boost, 124 kPa gauge, or an absolute pressure of 225 kPa or 2.2 atm, low altitude version of Merlin 63. Fitted with a Bendix Stromberg anti-G carburetor, intercooler used a separate header tank. Used in Spitfire LFMK.8 and LFMK.9. 1 Merlin 76/77, RM16 SM. 1233 HP, 919 kilowatts, at 35,000 feet, 10,668 m, fitted with a 2-speed, 2-stage supercharger and a Bendix Stromberg carburetor. Dedicated high-altitude version used in the Westland Welkin high-altitude fighter and some later Spitfire and de Havilland Mosquito variants. The odd-numbered Mark drove a Marshall Roots type blower for cockpit pressurizing. 1 Merlin 130/131. 2060 HP, 1540 kilowatts, redesigned slimline versions for the de Havilland Hornet. Engine design modified to decrease frontal area to a minimum and was the first Merlin series to use downdraft induction systems. Coolant pump moved from the bottom of the engine to the starboard side. 2-speed, 2-stage supercharger and SU injection carburetor. Cordless throttle. Maximum boost was 25 psi, 170 kPa gauge, or an absolute pressure of 270 kPa or 2.7 atm. On the Hornet, the Merlin 130 was fitted in the port nacelle. The Merlin 131, fitted in the starboard nacelle, was converted to a reverse or left-hand tractor engine using an additional idler gear in the reduction gear casing. 1 Merlin 133/134. 2030 HP, 1510 kilowatts. Derated for use at low altitude. 130/131 variants used in Sea Hornet FMK20, NFMK21 and PRMK22. Maximum boost was lowered to plus 18 psi gauge, 230 kPa or 2.2 atm absolute. 1 Merlin 266, RM10 SM. The prefix 2 indicates engines built by Packard, otherwise as Merlin 66, optimized for low-altitude operation. Fitted to the Spitfire Mk.16. 1 Merlin 620. 1175 HP, 876 kilowatts. Continuous cruising using 2650 RPM at plus 9 psi boost, 62 kPa gauge, or an absolute pressure of 165 kPa or 1.6 atm, capable of emergency rating of 1795 HP, 1339 kilowatts, at 3000 RPM using plus 20 psi boost, 138 kPa gauge, or an absolute pressure of 241 kPa or 2.4 atm, civilian engine developed from Merlin 102. Two-stage supercharger optimized for medium altitudes, and used an SU injection carburetor. Universal Power Plant, UPP, standardized annular radiator installation development of that used on Lancaster 6 and Avro Lincoln. The Merlin 626-21 series was designed to operate in the severe climatic conditions encountered on Canadian and long-range North Atlantic air routes. Used in Avro Tudor, Avro York, and the Canadair North Star. Applications, edit. In chronological order, the first operational aircraft powered by the Merlin to enter service were the Ferry Battle, Hawker Hurricane, and Supermarine Spitfire. Although the engine is most closely associated with the Spitfire, the four-engined Avro Lancaster was the most numerous application, followed by the twin-engined de Havilland Mosquito. List from Lumsden 2003. 1 Armstrong Whitworth Whitley. 2 Avro Athena. 3 Avro Lancaster. 4 Avro Lancastrian. 5 Avro Lincoln. 6 Avro Manchester 3. 7 Avro Tudor. 8 Avro York. 9 Bolton Paul Belial and C. Belial. 10 Bolton Paul Defiant. 11 Bristol Beaufighter 2. 12 CAC CA-18 Mark 23 Mustang. 13 Canadair North Star. 14 Casa 2.111B and D. 15 Cierva Air Horse. 16 de Havilland Mosquito. 17 de Havilland Hornet. 18 Ferry Barracuda. 19 Ferry Battle. 20 Ferry Fulmar. 21 Ferry P.4/34. 22 Fiat G.59. 23 Handley Page Halifax. 24 Handley Page Halton. 25 Hawker Hart, Test Bed. 26 Hawker Henley. 27 Hawker Horsley, Test Bed. 28 Hawker Hotspur. 29 Hawker Hurricane and C. Hurricane. 30 Hispano Aviation HA 1112. 31 I.A. 30 LandQ. 32 Miles M.20. 33 North American Mustang MKX. 34 Renadar.38. 35 Short Sturgeon. 36 Supermarine Type 322. 37 Supermarine Seafy. 38 Supermarine Spitfire. 39 Tsunami Racer. 40 Vickers F.7/41. 41 Vickers Wellington Mk2 and Mk6. 42 Vickers Windsor. 43 Westland Welkin. 1. Avro Lancaster BI powered by 4 Merlin XXs. 2. The slimline Merlin 130/131 series were designed for the de Havilland Hornet. 3. The Merlin 76 powered Vickers F.7/41. Post-war, edit. At the end of World War II, new versions of the Merlin, the 600 and 700 series, were designed and produced for use in commercial airliners such as the Avro Tudor, military transport aircraft such as the Avro York, and the Canadair North Star, which performed in both roles. These engines were basically military specification with some minor changes to suit the different operating environment. A Spanish-built version of the Messerschmitt Bf 109 G2, The 1954 Hispano Aviación H1112 M1L Bucheron was built in Hispano's factory in Seville with the Rolls-Royce Merlin 500/45 engine of 1,600 horsepower, 1,200 kilowatts, a fitting power plant for the last produced version of the famous Messerschmitt fighter, as the Bf-109 V1 prototype aircraft had been powered by the Rolls-Royce Kestrel V12 engine in 1935. The Casa 2.111 was another Spanish-built version of a German aircraft, the Heinkel He-111, that was adapted to use the Merlin after the supply of Junkers Jumo 211F2 engines ran out at the end of the war. A similar situation existed with the Fiat G.59 when available stocks of the Italian license-built version of the Daimler-Benz DB605 engine ran short. The Australian-built Avro Lincoln from a 73-51 used Australian-built Commonwealth Aircraft Corporation Merlin 102S. A total of 108 CAC Merlins were built by the time production ended. Alternative applications, edit. Further information, Rolls-Royce Merlin alternative uses. A non-supercharged version of the Merlin using a larger proportion of steel and iron components was produced for use in tanks. This engine, the Rolls-Royce Meteor, in turn led to the smaller Rolls-Royce Meteorite. In 1943, further Meteor development was handed over to Rover, in exchange for Rover's gas turbine interests. In 1938, Rolls-Royce started work on modifying some Merlins which were later to be used in British MTBs, MGBs, and RAF Air Sea Rescue launches. For these the superchargers were modified single-stage units and the engine was re-engineered for use in a marine environment. Some 70 engines were converted before priority was given to producing aero engines. Experiments were carried out by the Irish Army involving replacing the Bedford engine of a Churchill tank with a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine salvaged from an Irish Air Corps Seafy aircraft. The experiment was not a success, although the reasons are not recorded. Surviving engines, edit. One of the most successful of the World War II-era aircraft engines, the Merlin continues to be used in many restored World War II vintage aircraft all over the world. The Royal Air Force Battle of Britain Memorial Flight is a notable current operator of the Merlin. In England the Shuttleworth Collection owns and operates a Merlin-powered Hawker Sea Hurricane IB and a Supermarine Spitfire VC. Both can be seen flying at home displays throughout the summer months. Engines on display, edit. Preserved examples of the Rolls-Royce Merlin are on display at the following museums. 1 Atlantic Canada Aviation Museum. 1 Aviation Heritage Museum, Western Australia. 1 City of Norwich Aviation Museum in Horsham St Faith, Norfolk. 1 Montrose Air Station Heritage Centre. 1 Polish Aviation Museum, Krakow, Poland. 1 Rolls-Royce Heritage Centre, Derby. Several versions, including displayed superchargers, reduction gears and other components. 1 Royal Air Force Museum, Cosford and London. 1 Science Museum, London. 1 Shuttleworth Collection. 1 Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, Washington, D.C. 1 Wings Museum, West Sussex, England. Specifications, Merlin 61, edit. Data from James. General characteristics. 1 Type, 12-cylinder, supercharged, liquid-cooled, 60 degrees V, SOC, piston aircraft engine. 2 bore, 5.4 in, 137 mm. 3 stroke, 6.0 in, 152 mm. 4 displacement, 1649 cu in, 27 L. 5 length, 88.7 in, 225 centimeters. 6 width, 30.8 in, 78 centimeters. 7 height, 40 in, 102 centimeters. 8 dry weight, 1,640 pound, 744 kilograms. Components: 1 valve train, overhead camshaft, 2 intake and 2 exhaust valves per cylinder, sodium-cooled exhaust valve stems. 2 supercharger, 2-speed, 2-stage. Boost pressure automatically linked to the throttle, coolant air after cooler between the second stage and the engine. 3 fuel system, twin choke updraft Rolls-Royce /S.U carburetor with automatic mixture control. Twin independent fuel pumps. 4 fuel type, 100 /130 octane petrol. 5 oil system, dry sump with 1 pressure pump and 2 scavenge pumps. 6 cooling system, 70% water and 30% ethylene glycol coolant mixture, pressurized. Supercharger intercooler system entirely separate from main cooling system. 7 reduction gear, 0.421. Performance: 1 power output, asterisk 1290 HP, 960 kilowatts, at 3000 RPM at takeoff. 2 1565 HP, 1167 kilowatts, at 3000 RPM at 12,250 feet, 3730 ms gear. 3 1580 HP, 1180 kilowatts, at 3000 RPM at 23,500 feet, 7,200 fs gear. 4 specific power, 0.96 HP /cu in, 43.6 kilowatt /L. 5 compression ratio, 6:1. 6 fuel consumption, minimum 30 gal /H, 136 L /H, maximum 130 gal /H, 591 L /H. 7 power to weight ratio, 0.96 HP /pound, 1.58 kilowatt /kilogram, at maximum power. See also, edit. 1 Rolls-Royce aircraft piston engines. 2 Rolls-Royce Merlin alternative uses. Related development. 1 Packard V1650 Merlin. 2 Rolls-Royce Griffon. 3 Rolls-Royce Meteor, tank engine developed from the Merlin. 4 Rolls-Royce Meteorite, cut-down Meteor. Comparable engines. 1 Allison V1710. 2 Daimler-Benz DB601. 3 Hispano Suiza 12Y. 4 Junkers Jumo 213. 5 Plymouth VK107. 6 Mikulinum 35. Related lists. 1 List of aircraft engines. 2 List of Rolls-Royce Merlin variants. References, edit.